high-speed test drives, luxury cars, and a tragic accident. This is not just a story of a car crash, but a legal drama that unfolded in the courts of India. This is the gripping tale of Vaibhav Jain versus Hindustan Motors, a case that questioned the boundaries of responsibility and ownership. Buckle up as we dive into the legal maelstrom that followed. On that fateful day, a high-end vehicle driven by Hindustan Motors employees met a tragic end. The accident claimed the life of Pranav Kumar Goswami, a territory manager, and left the other employee, Shubhashish Pal, seriously injured. The crash sent shockwaves through the industry, prompting a fierce debate over who was truly responsible. As the dust settled, the legal battlefield was set. The legal heirs of Pranav Kumar Goswami filed a claim for death compensation under Section 166 of the Motor Vehicles Act. They targeted three parties: the driver, Hindustan Motors, and Vaibhav Jain, the dealer. The central question: who was truly at fault for this devastating accident? Vaibhav Jain, represented by his legal team, put forth a compelling defense. 1. Ownership argument. Jain's team argued that on the day of the accident, the vehicle was still temporarily registered under Hindustan Motors. There was no official proof of the car being sold to Jain's dealership. 2. Employment context. Both Pranav Kumar Goswami and Shubhashish Pal were employees of Hindustan Motors. The car was under their control, and the accident occurred while it was still in their hands. 3. Dealership agreement. The agreement between Jain and Hindustan Motors was strictly for sales purposes. Jain contended that this did not confer ownership, and thus he should not be held liable under the Motor Vehicles Act. Hindustan Motors responded with their own set of claims. 1. Sale claim. They asserted that the vehicle had indeed been sold to Vaibhav Jain's dealership. According to their records, the sale was completed, making Jain the rightful owner at the time of the accident. 2. Dealership agreement. Hindustan Motors argued that the dealership agreement absolved them of liability for the accident. They claimed that responsibility had shifted to Jain as the new owner. But was this claim backed by solid evidence? Did the dealership agreement truly shield Hindustan Motors from all liability? The courtroom was abuzz with these questions as both sides presented their cases. The tribunal's verdict was a turning point in this case. They found 1. Manufacturer liability. Hindustan Motors was the manufacturer of the vehicle. No sale letter was presented to prove the vehicle's transfer to Vaibhav Jain's dealership. 2. Control of the vehicle. The vehicle was under the control of Hindustan Motors employees at the time of the accident. 3. Liability. The tribunal held all parties: Shubhashish Pal, the driver, Hindustan Motors, and Vaibhav Jain, jointly and severally liable for compensation. The High Court of Chhattisgarh upheld the tribunal's decision, dismissing the appeal and affirming the liability of all parties involved. The Supreme Court of India was the final arbiter in this intricate case. Here's a breakdown of their ruling. Ownership and liability. The court ruled that Vaibhav Jain was not the owner of the vehicle at the time of the accident. The vehicle was still under the control of Hindustan Motors through its employees. Dealership agreement. The clauses limiting Hindustan Motors' liability for defects did not extend to absolving them from tortious liability arising from the accident. Final ruling. The court determined that Vaibhav Jain should not be held liable for the compensation. Hindustan Motors was held solely responsible for the compensation. Jain was entitled to recover any amount he had paid towards compensation from Hindustan Motors with interest. And there you have it, a riveting saga of legal maneuvering, corporate responsibility, and the quest for justice. This case not only tested the legal system, but also highlighted the complex nature of ownership and liability. If you found this deep dive into a high-stakes legal battle captivating, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more stories from the world of law. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the unexpected twists of justice.